Hello and welcome. Welcome back after the Turkey Day Thanksgiving holiday if you are in the United States of America. If you are not, welcome back after a weekend. If you happen to be in the United States, chances are you overate over this holiday. No big deal. Today we are going to talk about the best way to burn fat, or how the best exercises for burning body fat. Okay. Before we get into that, as always, if you're watching this live, go ahead and drop a live down in the comments. And if you are watching this on the replay, go ahead and drop me a hashtag replay, and I will share this to the Better Not Perfect group first. But I will be happy because you let me know when you are tuning in. Boom. Men are not good at multitasking, myself included. Okay, so we are talking today about the best exercises to burn body fat. Okay, first of all, prepare for a mouthful of research data. Without it, anything I say won't really matter. Anecdotes and Instagram posts about fat loss carry about as much weight as a balloon. No water balloons allowed. Before getting too deep into this, let me be clear. Exercise is very important to longevity and health for a large range of factors. Six-pack abs, however, won't make you happy. But working out can certainly release hormones that make you happier, and the side effects of having good body image can work wonders. So yes, there are best practices for exercise to maximize fat burning when done with consistency. So let's dig in. I'm going to share a bunch of stuff that I've dug into. Hopefully this will help you. In a study published in and reported by the New York Times, overweight men and women who exercised 6 days a week lost weight. However, those who worked out twice a week did not. Let's dig further into those statistics. Current recommendations state that exercise programs should be over 225 minutes a week to induce clinically significant weight loss. However, in the study, the average weekly exercise time for all participants was just over 249 minutes, producing non-significant decreases in body fat loss, percent of body fat loss. Okay. Again, let me read that. Current recommendations state that exercise programs should be over 225 minutes a week to induce clinically significant fat loss. However, in the study I just mentioned, the average weekly exercise time for all participants was just over 249 minutes, producing non-significant decreases in body fat loss. The 6-day-a-week group exercised more than 320 minutes a week, and they experienced significant decreases in body fat. Therefore, the results of the present study suggest current recommendations for exercise to promote weight loss may be inadequate and should be closer to 300 minutes a week or 5 hours a week to overcome the approximately 1,000 calorie compensatory response that accompanies exercise. I want to touch on that a little bit. What many people don't realize is when they start exercising, there is a response that they start to eat more. It's pretty common, right? You start exercising a lot. You hear it a lot of times where trainers will be like, earn that extra drink or earn that piece of pie or whatever. I hate that mindset. You don't need to earn anything. You probably need to pay better attention to your nutrition, and then you'll be okay. You can't exercise off a bad diet. Pushing further into this, a 2010 study stated that the effect of regular aerobic exercise on body fat is negligible. However, other forms of exercise may have a greater impact on body composition. For example, emerging research examining high-intensity intermittent exercise, or intervals, indicates that it may be more effective at reducing abdominal fat than any other types of exercise. Exercisers can burn significantly more body fat with interval training than moderate intensity continuous training, according to a recent systematic review and meta-analysis in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Although the differences in fat loss weren't huge, the interval workouts were shorter, which could make it easier for more people to adhere to them. It should be noted in that study that recommends 300 minutes, most of it was low to moderate intensity. Okay. One very underappreciated fact about exercise is that even when you work out, those extra calories burned only account for a tiny percent of your total energy expenditure. So Alexa Kravitz, a neuroscientist and obesity researcher at the National Institute of Health, states that in reality, it's only about 10 to 30% of total energy expenditure, depending on the person and excluding professional athletes that work out as a job, that it's only 10 to 30% of your calories that you actually burn through exercise, even if you're exercising a ton. Anecdotally, I can share that I was burning like 2,000 calories a day through exercise. And yes, it did work as far as body fat loss, but no, it's not sustainable, right? You can push down to those lower realms, sub 10% ranges of body fat through exercise, but you're not going to stay there unless your diet is right, right? Another study published in the International Journal of Sports Nutrition and Exercise Medicine involving 73 healthy adults aged 19 to 63 tested the lifestyle and biological factors for optimal fat burning by asking participants to take part in a cycling fitness test and measuring key indicators. Their results found that females and those who were physically fitter right across age ranges burned fat more efficiently when exercising. Good news, ladies. Basically, if you're already fit, and a woman, but if you're already fit, you have optimized yourself into a fat burning machine. It should also be noted that in order to achieve fitness, one has to abide by a relatively healthy and measured diet. In yet another study to determine the effects of a 15-week high-intensity intermittent exercise program, intervals, on trunk fat and insulin resistance of young women, subjects were randomly assigned to one of three groups: high intensity, steady state, or control without exercise. High intensity and steady state underwent 15-week exercise intervention. There were 45 women with an average BMI of 23 and an average age of 20. So young women, right? Both exercise groups demonstrated a significant improvement in cardiovascular fitness. However, only the high intensity group had a significant reduction in total body mass, fat mass, trunk fat, and fasting plasma insulin levels. All good stuff, right? There was a significant fat loss in legs compared to arms in the high intensity group only. Lean compared to overweight women lost less fat, which is something that I see quite a bit. If you have more fat to lose, you're going to lose it quicker. If you don't have that much to lose, it's going to be a slower climb, right? If you're already relatively lean, it's going to be harder to lose fat. Just you have less to lose, right? In yet another study, results in mice and humans show that in response to mechanical loading, muscle cells release particles called extracellular vesicles that give fat cells instructions to enter fat burning mode. Mechanical loading equals weightlifting, right? So lifting weights, doing high intensity exercise, we're starting to see a trend here, right? You're starting to see that high intensity is going to do much better than low intensity, and loaded movement will help in a nice fashion. Moving forward, again, if you're watching this live, drop a live. If you are catching the replay, give me a replay. I know that a lot of this is pretty dense information, but I think that you guys are pretty smart, and I want to provide you with actual good backed information instead of just, some random anecdotes. John McCarthy, PhD, study author and associate professor in the UK Department of Physiology, says, to our knowledge, this is the first demonstration of how weight training initiates metabolic adaptations in fat tissue, which is crucial for determining whole body metabolic outcomes. Basically, what is your body's metabolic ability to burn fat, right? The ability of resistance exercise-induced extracellular vesicles to improve fat metabolism has significant clinical implications. What he's saying is, if you lift weights, if you use external load, and it doesn't need to be heavy. I'm not talking about huge heavy loads here. In these tests, they rarely use heavy loads. But what we're seeing is that weightlifting will help burn body fat, and there's a reason for that, and we'll dig into that in a second. It should be noted that there is very strong evidence that self-reporting of food intake fails and almost everyone undercounts. Again, we talked about that 1,000 calorie underreporting earlier. Research examining the effects of high intensity exercise has produced preliminary evidence to suggest that high intensity exercise can result in modest reduction in abdominal fat in young, normal weight, and slightly overweight males and females. Studies using overweight male and female type 2 diabetic individuals have shown greater reduction in abdominal fat and body fat. And I see this all the time. Again, if you've got more to lose, it's going to happen quicker. Sorry, already fit people, losing the last layer of body fat, or as everybody calls it, the last 10, is truly the hardest. It also significantly lowers insulin resistance and results in increases in skeletal muscle capacity for fatty acid oxidation and glycolytic enzyme content. All good stuff, right? So now that we have the science, what does this all mean? Well, it means that short bursts of intense exercise repeated with short rest breaks can really work wonders, right? The first study we talked about, which was more low intensity stuff, showed that you need to do more and more and more and more and more for it actually to be effective, right? People were doing 250 minutes and not seeing much. People were doing 320 plus minutes and seeing some. But for most people, that's not going to be necessarily sustainable. You do need to have exercise in your life to burn and maintain fat loss, but it's not necessarily sustainable to be doing that much work. I would love if it was. That is best case scenario, that you're able to exercise for an hour each day, but I know that most people have obstacles to overcome just to get the exercise in. So short bursts of intense exercise repeated with short rest breaks can really work wonders. Studies have been done with as little as 3 seconds, alternating with 6 seconds of maximum intensity, followed by 9 seconds of recovery. 3 minutes total of 6 seconds, followed by 9 seconds of rest. So really short bursts, followed by short bursts of rest. 3 minutes. Mind you, these tests are done on like high-level cyclists, and most humans cannot perform at that level. But for most people, doing things like 20 seconds of intense cardio followed by 40 seconds of rest for 10 sets can do a lot. When applied with a superset or two of strength work before, which is like a formula I use personally and with clients, in 2 alternating exercises, right? And done as an EMOM, you can get fantastic fat burning workouts in like 10 or 20 minutes a day. That said, of course, if you decide that you can go walk at low intensity for an hour each day, even better. But if you're like, I don't have time, bullshit. You have 10 minutes. If you've taken the time to scroll social media, you have time to work out. Now, while I have stated that low-level aerobic work does not do a lot for fat burning, if extended, it can, and it can do a lot for many other parts of your life. Walking does help maintain muscular and skeletal mass. It is also very important as we age that we get outside. It can also do good things for our emotional and mental well-being, right? To get out and just move, see things, see other people, or just see nature. Just getting out and moving is important, and it should be prioritized. Finally, and most importantly, no exercise routine is nearly as important as your routine with food. And I cannot overstate this. Without a structured plan for eating, you'll be rowing in circles with one oar, right? The real magic bullet for fat loss is not exercise. It's nutrition, sleep, and then some exercise put together. You cannot have one without the other and hope for great results, especially as you age. Food will help you lose weight, right? And exercise will help build the structure to make you look great, okay? Exercise doesn't do the work to burn the fat. It gives you lean mass so that you have muscles, so that you look like you actually do something and feel like you actually do something and feel good, right? All that said, it is important to work out and do something you enjoy. Always find something that you enjoy. You don't have to love it every single day, but you have to at least like the entry point, right? And I say this time and time again, but if you want help with your specific plan, just reach out. I personally pay a coach to write my workouts for my current goals. Even as a professional trainer, I manage a team of trainers. I love the ability to not think about it, to log into our app and to be told what to do to reach my goals. It also holds me accountable because I know once a month, my coach will look at my workouts and my progress, and he'll make some adjustments if he feels needed. It might just be a copy and paste of the same program again and again and again. And a lot of times for me, that works. I can do that. I can do the same interval running. I can do the same weightlifting. I find the beauty in the repetition. I enjoy that quite a bit. And, you know, as my coach, he won't get mad if I don't do something, but he will give me a, what the heck? I thought you cared, dude. And I do. So then I do better. Not perfect. So I hope this helped you kind of get a firm understanding of the best exercise for fat loss. High intensity interval training works. High intensity works. Low intensity can work, but it takes a lot of time, right? And bottom line, you need to use food as the vehicle to do anything that is going to kickstart your fat loss, your weight loss, all that stuff. It's not the gym. It's not the fitness routine. That is helpful and it does make you feel great, and slowly but surely you'll gain muscle strength and muscle mass if that's what you're looking for, and you'll increase the strength of your joints, and your skeletal muscle mass will go up, which is all good stuff. Your hormone balance will be helped greatly, right? Your mental health will improve as you work out, but it all starts with the food. And without the food, you're not going to get where you need to go, okay? High intensity interval training is the best way to burn fat, but it is negligible without the food. That's all I got for today, you guys. I hope this was helpful. For some of you that were looking for it, I will be sending a PDF of this presentation that has links to all of the studies that I quoted. That is my time for the day. I hope this was valuable. As always, if you need help, reach out, and remember, keep it better, not perfect. I will be back tomorrow.